This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video, I will take a look at the 2025 Kentucky Oaks Future Wager Pool. And this pool will run from Friday, March 14th through Sunday, March 16th, and the pool will close at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. I recently posted my latest Kentucky Oaks 2025 report at therunawayhorse.com on my Kentucky Oaks page, and that report includes the latest Oaks news, points race recaps, updated point standings, and my top 5 Oaks contenders. You can check out that article now at therunawayhorse.com on my Kentucky Oaks page. And I also posted my Fabulous 5 Oaks Contenders video earlier this week on my channel. You can watch that one now, and I will include a link to that written report in the video description below. And I am covering all of the Oaks points races on my channel. And I've had 10 top choice winners on the Road to the Oaks video series so far. I also keep checking for all of those handicapping videos. And this week's Oaks prep race, the Virginia Oaks at Colonial Downs on Saturday, March 15th. I already posted that video on my channel, so you can watch that one if you're interested. And I am offering a Kentucky Oaks Day full card at Churchill Downs on the first Friday in May, and you will be able to purchase that analysis at therunawayhorse.com on my shop page later this spring. And there are 40 betting interests in this Kentucky Oaks pool, and we'll just dive right in now. And Ahavah is the first one, number 1 at 80 to 1. Cherie DeVos, the trainer, and this one's only run one time, did win that race, was the favorite, was able to get to the front from the inside post in a dirt sprint at Fairgrounds on February 15th. They paid $400,000 for this one. City of Light filly, I think she has a lot of promise. I just don't know. I think the Oaks is going to come up too quick. She just doesn't have the experience with just that one start so far. Amarth at 40 to 1 is number 2 for trainer Eddie Keneally. This is a daughter of McKinsey, and she's 2 for 5 overall with a second place finish. She was second in the Busher at Aqueduct, a Kentucky Oaks points race last time. Prior to that, in the Untappable Stakes, in Oaks points race, she was 6th that day. She's going to have to get faster, but that last race was a step in the right direction. Just don't know how far she wants to go because the Busher was a one-turn mile. Ballerina d'Oro, number 3 at 20 to 1 with Chad Brown is the trainer. This is the daughter of Medaglia d'Oro. Tappet is the dam sire. This one has a long-winded pedigree, and this one switched to dirt last year in the Demoiselle Stakes. That was a grade 2. Muhimma was out there controlling the pace, and she had post 10 in a 10-horse field, and she added blinkers that day for Chad Brown, and she rallied from last place. She was clearly second best, more than 6 lengths in front of the show finisher. Then she made her first start this year in the Devona Dale. It was a grade 2, a one-turn mile, and she was a clear third, just missing second by a nose. So I would expect that she's going to continue to improve this year. Number 4 is Bless the Broken for trainer William Walden, and she's 1 for 6 overall with a second and 2 seconds and a third place finish. Last time out in the Rachel Alexander Stakes, she was third, beaten more than 7 lengths in a 4-horse field. Prior to that, in the Silver Bullet Day, she was second, and then she was in that Demoiselle Stakes along with Ballerina d'Oro, and she was 7th, beaten 12 lengths that day. So she's going to have to continue to improve. She's just not fast enough at this point. Bourbon Memory has done nothing wrong. This is a Bourbon Lane Stables runner. Bolt d'Oro is the sire. Empire Maker's the dam sire. Brendan Walsh is the trainer here, and she's a perfect 3 for 3. And all of those wins were at Turfway on all-weather ground. So probably look for her to run in a stakes race upcoming at Turfway on the Road to the Oaks, and most likely on the Jeff Ruby Stakes undercard. We'll see if she ends up in that race. And she's won, again, she's done nothing wrong on all-weather ground. We just don't know how she's going to handle dirt when they eventually do switch her over. But she does have a promising main track pedigree. Brilliantly is the 6 at 40 to 1 for trainer Bob Baffert, $500,000 daughter of Uncle Mo, and she's just run one time and she's still a maiden. She was clearly second best in her 6 furlong debut, and we'll see where they end up going with her. I think she's entered in a maiden race at Santa Anita later this week. But for her, just doesn't have the experience. Cassiar is next. Is number 7 at 50 to 1 for trainer Shug McGahee, $400,000 daughter of City of Light, and she won her debut from post 10 in a 10-horse field. She sat in mid-pack, 6.5 furlongs at Tampa Bay, and she got up by a head there. That was on February 8th. She's another one that has a lot of promise, just doesn't have a lot of experience. Chasten is number 8 at 40 to 1 for trainer Brad Cox. And for her, she won her debut at 7 furlongs. And then in her second start in the Silver Bullet Day, she was 4th in a 6-horse field. Another one that lacks experience, just don't know how good she is at this point. A Decadent is the 9 for trainer Kenny McPeak, a daughter of Gervin, and she's 2 for 2. She won her 7 furlong debut in the slop, and then mile in the 16th at Oakland, second time out. She won that race by 3 lengths, rallying from 14 lengths back. So she'll probably be showing up in the stakes race, and we'll see how she can do. She did improve her speed rating in her second start. Drexel Hill, trainer Whitworth Beckman. This is a Bolt Doro filly, and she's 2 for 7. And she broke her maiden on all-weather ground and then extended sprint at Woodbine last year. And then this year in 3 dirt races, the Untappable Stakes, she was 5th. Then she added blinkers, and she was 3rd in the Silver Bullet Day, but they thought she was too aggressive, so they took the blinkers off, and she relaxed nicely in the Busher, and she rallied to win that race. So she's got a lot of promise, but both of her wins were around 1 turn. Eclatant is another one that might be better sprinting. This is a Into Mischief filly for trainer Brad Cox, and she's 3 for 3 around 1 turn, and she was my top choice in the Forward Gal last time out. That was a grade 3 at 7 furlongs at Gulfstream. Nice win, and her only effort around 2 turns, the Goldenrod Stakes, a grade 2 Kentucky Oaks points race last year. She sat in second. She had the lead. She got tired. She couldn't go with the top 2 there. Good Cheer and Quietside, and she was 3rd, beating more than 8 lengths, and she just did hold 3rd, so I'm not sure she's really a 2-turn filly. 5G ran a good race last time. She's the 12 at 20 to 1 for trainer George Weaver, and in her last 4 starts, she's fired exacta shots, and in the Cash Run Stakes, when she moved back to the main track, she romped by 9 a couple of starts back, and then last time in the Honeybee, good effort. She had post 13. She was aggressively handled. She had the lead. It was just between her and Quietside, and she was just outfinished there in the stretch, and she missed by a length. But she was clearly second best. Good effort. Again, another one, we'll see how far that she wants to go. She did win a turf route against State Bred Company in New York in her second career start at a mile and a 16th. But then she won last time, a couple starts back in that Cash Run. I mentioned that was a 1-turn mile. And then over a route of ground last time, she was a decent second. Don't know if she's going to get better as distances increase, but she does have some ability. Finally, the 13, and she's going to run in the Virginia Oaks, and she's a contender there, and she looked good in her debut for trainer Grant Motion. She was able to win at 7 furlongs at Tampa Bay on February 14th. We'll learn more about her when she runs in that Virginia Oaks at Colonial Downs on March 15th. Golden Sunshine, the 14th, it's another daughter of Medaglia d'Oro, and she added Lasix and blinkers, and she broke her maiden easily on all-weather ground at Turfway last time. Step in the right direction, since she's 1 for 6 with 2 seconds and 2/3. So all of those races were in the maiden ranks. Don't know where she classes up at this point. Good Cheer, 3 to 1. She's the favorite in this pool. She's 5 for 5, so she hasn't done anything wrong. She just romped in her first 2 starts by 8 lengths in her debut, by 17 lengths second time out last year. And then in the Rags to Riches Stakes, Oaks Points race, she won that one by almost 5 lengths. The Goldenrod, another Oaks Points race, she won that one by more than 2 lengths. And then in the Rachel Alexandra Stakes against just 3 rivals, she dominated that one by more than 6 lengths. She's got good tactical speed and a good finishing kick. Again, done nothing wrong. She's got a lot of talent. She deserves to be one of the favorites at this point on the road to the Oaks. Gowells Delight is going to run in the Virginia Oaks next. She won her debut, and she was beaten 14 lengths in the Martha Washington. And then in the Rachel Alexandra, she was no match for Good Cheer there, but she was second best. And we'll see how she does in that Virginia Oaks. Her Laugh is the 17 for trainer Whitworth Beckman, and she's 20 to 1. And she won her first 2 starts, 6 furlong debut, maiden special weight company, looked good there. That was at 6 furlongs and then going to a mile and 70 yards in the Untappable Stakes. So she stretched out second time out, controlled the pace, and won that race easily. Then in the Suncoast Stakes, she blew the break there, and she rallied to finish second. So she's one that wants to be up on the pace, and if she's in her next start, if she's able to get out of the gate in good order, she would be one that most likely would be a contender in her next Kentucky Oaks Points race. Justinqueso, number 18, at 30 to 1 for trainer Ian Wilkes. She was placed first through disqualification in her 6 furlong debut at Gulfstream Park. She was well beaten in the Forward Gal, and then she stretched out and she finished second last time out, optional claiming race at Gulfstream Park. So we don't know where her class is at this point, because in the Forward Gal, her lone stakes race, she was no threat. La Cara for trainer Mark Cassie, number 19 at 20 to 1, 8 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds. She won the first Kentucky Oaks Points race last year, the Pocahontas. She rallied from 11th. Prior to that, she broke her maiden going wire to wire, and then she was in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. She was 5th, beaten 16 lengths, Then she wired the field in the Suncoast in her first start this year. Then in the Devona Dale, she chased the pace. She just did hold second. She's going to stretch back out around 2 turns in her next start, and she's versatile. Look Forward is the 20 for trainer Michael McCarthy, a Bolt Doro filly, and she is 20-1. And she did run well in her first 3 starts, a victory in her debut, second place in the Grade 2 Starlet, and then she won the Santa Ynez Stakes at 7 furlongs. And then last time in the Honeybee, she was 7th, beaten 12 lengths. So she's 2 for 2 around 1 turn, and she's 0 for 2 around 2 turns. Number 21, Madam Secretary for trainer Richard Mandela, and she's one that is on the improve. She improved her speed ratings in all 3 starts, including a maiden win last time out, 1 mile at Santa Anita. Maybe she'll show up in the Santa Anita Oaks. Maysam for trainer Bob Baffert, another horse that could show up in the Santa Anita Oaks. We'll see if he goes there. But she looked really good in her debut. Then I made her my top choice in the Sunland Oaks, but she just threw a complete fit in the gate and never really ran her race that day. And then in the Santa Isabel Stakes, I went right back to her, and she wasn't the favorite in that 4-horse field. Supa Speed was the favorite, and those two just battled. Maysam got the lead, Supa Speed chased. They battled the length of the stretch, and Maysam won by a nose. So she is getting faster. She has some ability, but she just threw that fit the lone time that she shipped away from Santa Anita Park. So we'll see. I think maybe they're probably going to try to run her at Santa Anita again in her next start. Muhimma, number 23, at 12-1 for trainer Brad Cox. And this is a daughter of Munnings, and she won all 3 starts easily last year, pressing the pace in her first 2 starts at 6.5 and 7 furlongs, and then stretching out to 1 mile and an eighth in the Demoiselle, controlling the pace and defeating Ballerina Doro by a length there. And she was the favorite in all of those races. She was my top-ranked Oaks contender heading into the Honeybee, and then she disappointed in the Honeybee. She was the favorite. She had the inside post, but the 2 horses breaking from the outside, Quietside and 5G, were able to get over and beat her to the punch. Her jockey Florin Giroux aboard Muhimma just decided to sit off the pace and sit in third, tried to go with them in the stretch, and then they just never came back to the field, and she was an even third there. So she's going to run next in the Ashland, the Grade 1 Ashland at Keeneland, and she'll probably do well at Keeneland. It's a speed track. She's got speed, and I think they need to use her early speed like they did in the Demoiselle. Get her out onto the lead and see what she can do. Paradise City, number 24 for trainer Safi Joseph Jr., and this one's 2 for 5 overall. In the Cash Run Stakes, she was no match for 5G, but then she came back, added Lasix, stretched out around 2 turns, and dominated an optional claiming race at 1 mile and a 16th on January 30th at Gulfstream. Probably going to show up in the Gulfstream Oaks next. Pretty Sassy, number 25, a daughter of Medaglia d'Oro, Tappett's the dam sire. Strong pedigree here for this Godolphin filly. Brendan Walsh is the trainer, and she won after disappointing in her debut, but I just think she ran out of ground in her debut. She was 5th in a 12-horse field. They stretched her out, brought her back off of a layoff, and she dominated a maiden race by 7 lengths at Fairgrounds in January. And then in February, 4-horse field, she just did get the job done from the inside post as the 1-2 favorite. So she did deliver as the favorite in her last 2 starts, but she will have to elevate her speed ratings a bit if she's expecting to do well in a stakes race. Maybe the Fairgrounds Oaks, since she won her last 2 races at Fairgrounds, the Fairgrounds Oaks could be next. Princess Aliyah, number 26, at 50-1 for trainer D. Wayne Lucas. Took her 5 times to break her maiden, but she did look good breaking her maiden on a good track at Oaklawn at 1 mile last time. We'll see if she doesn't show up next in a stakes race at Oaklawn. Number 27, Quickick, Tom Amos. This is a daughter of McKinsey, $550,000 purchase. And she was 3rd in her debut behind Cara last year. And then she added blinkers and broke her maiden at 7 furlongs second time out. Stretched out in the Alcibiades, and she was clearly second best behind Immersive, your 2-year-old filly champion, who was injured and is off the Derby Trail earlier this winter. And then the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, Immersive beat her again, and she was 3rd. And then last time in the Honeybee, she did make a bit of a move there, but then she just flattened out, and she finished 5th in a 13-horse field. The race flow favored early runners there. Maybe she'll improve in her second start after a layoff. 28, Quietside, hasn't done anything wrong. 6 starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds and a third. So she's very consistent for trainer John Ortiz, and she's had a lot of stakes experience after winning her debut. She was 2nd in the Spinaway, 3rd in the Alcibiades, 2nd in the Goldenrod, 2nd in the Martha Washington, and then 1st in the Honeybee. She was able to break through from post 12, chasing the pace there and getting the job done. So that was a good step in the right direction because her speed ratings were not improving prior to the Honeybee, but then in that Honeybee, they did improve. So maybe she's a filly on the rise and she has good tactical speed. And she already has proven herself at Churchill Downs with that second place finish in the Goldenrod. Running away, number 29 at 15 to 1. Wesley Ward. This is the daughter of Gunrunner and back-to-back wins when they moved her to the main track after hitting the board in her first 2 turf starts. She broke her maiden by 5 lengths at Churchill Downs, going wire to wire, and then the Busanda Stakes is my top choice. She was the favorite there, and she won that race going wire to wire. She's got good speed. She'll probably show up in the Ashland next. Simply Joking, number 30 for trainer Whitworth Beckman. She's 12 to 1, and she's 2 for 2. She broke her maiden in a stakes race, the Letellier Memorial, at 6 furlongs at Fairgrounds in her career debut. And then she stretched out in a stakes race at Fairgrounds, the Silver Bullet Day, and she controlled the pace. So she's rallied from off the pace in her debut. She stretched out and controlled the pace second time out as the favorite. And that was a good effort. And she's obviously done nothing wrong and probably going to show up maybe in the Fairgrounds Oaks next. She had a bullet workout at Fairgrounds on March 7th. Snowyte at 31 here. She is 50 to 1 for trainer Danny Gargan, and she's still a maiden after 3 starts. She did finish second in her maiden debut, and then they ran her in the Frizette Stakes, and she was second behind Scottish Lassie. That one ran away with that race, and then she was well beaten in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and she hasn't run since then, but she is in training in Florida. Stunner, number 32, is 20 to 1 for trainer Brad Cox. I'm thinking maybe she's better at shorter distances. She won at the 6.5 furlong second time out in the maiden race, and then the Tempted Stakes. She won that one going wire to wire, just like she did her maiden win. And then she had a clear lead when she stretched out, and she couldn't hold it, and she missed by a neck. That was on November 30th at Gulfstream. And then cutting back to 7 furlongs, her first start this year. She stalked, she led, she finished second. So I don't think longer distances are going to be what she's best at. 1-turn races, I think, definitely good, maybe up to a mile and a 16th. Supa Speed, number 33 at 15 to 1, daughter of Justify for trainer John Sadler. And she had been a turf filly for most of her earlier in her career. And she did win an optional claiming race on turf and a maiden race on turf and hit the board in some stakes races on that surface, and then moved over to the main track in the Santa Isabel Stakes. And it was just her and Maysam last time dominating that 4-horse field. So it was only 4 horses, and those 2 were just right up on the pace. So we'll see if they keep her on the main track. Maybe try her in the Santa Anita Oaks. 34, Take Charge Milady for trainer Kenny McPeak. She was my top choice in the Martha Washington, and she stalked and scored and won that race. But then in the Honeybee, she was no threat. She was just near the back of the pack all the way around. So she's better than that, but we'll see how good she is. Number 35 is Tenma at 7 to 2 for trainer Bob Baffert, daughter of Nyquist, and she's got some talent. She's 4 for 5 with the show finish. Her lone loss was in the Grade 2 Oakleaf. She won the Grade 1 Del Mar Debutante, the Grade 2 Starlet, and the Grade 3 Las Virgenes in her last 3 starts, and she was 20 cents on the dollar against 2 rivals in that Las Virgenes. Santa Anita Oaks will be her next start. The Queen's MG, number 36 for trainer Sappy Joseph Jr., a daughter of 1,000 Words, and she's had 8 starts, 4 wins, 2 show finishes. She was a stakes winner at Saratoga last year, winning the Schuylerville and Adirondack. And then in the Spinaway, she was up the track. Then she was 3rd in the Tempted, 3rd in the Forward Gal. And then she won the Devona Dale when she was able to save all the ground in a 5-horse field, scooted right up the inside, stalking the pace, and she won that race easily. Good effort there. Don't know how far she wants to go, but it was a good effort. She looked good with a perfect trip in that Devona Dale. 37, Velvet Vortex, Brad Cox trainee. She was good in her debut, but she just has that one race at 6 furlongs, and I don't know that she's really going to be able to make the Oaks. $375,000 daughter of Complexity. She's one to look at long term. Number 38, Vodka with a Twist for trainer Phil D'Amato. A lot of experience as a 2-year-old, 7 starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. She was 3rd in the Starlet, 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, 2nd by a nose in the Debutante, 2nd in the Sorrento, and she did win the Debutante at Churchill Downs earlier in her career. So she's had a lot of stakes experience. She's a quality filly, but she really did disappoint in that Starlet as the beaten favorite. White Rocks, number 39 at 40 to 1 for Arnaud Delacour, daughter of Frosted. And she's had 3 starts, 2 wins, and a runner-up finish. And they were all on all-weather ground at Turfway at 1 mile. and she did win the Cincinnati Trophy Stakes as my second choice. She beat my top choice there by 1.25 lengths. Good effort in her last start, and we'll see where they go next. Most likely the next stakes race on that Jeff Ruby Stakes undercard for the Road to the Kentucky Oaks series there. And then number 40, all other three-year-old fillies of 12-1. So the three horses that I am going to say that are worth playing in this pool, and they're all on my Kentucky Oaks top 5 list because those are the horses that I like the most at this point. The 3, Ballerina d'Oro, could be the best play in this pool. She's 20-1, and that Devona Dale, that was just a prep because she was supposed to run in the Rachel Alexandra Stakes at Fairgrounds. Chad Brown was going to ship her there for that 2-turn race, but for that Rachel Alexandra Stakes, she got sick. He was never able to ship her out of Florida, so she never went to New Orleans for that race. She got sick prior to shipping, and she recovered quickly, and he needed to get a race into her, and that Devona Dale around 1 turn was the race that he chose. Now, I really think that she wants to go longer, 1.125 miles, 1.25. She seems like the type of filly that really is going to thrive over longer distances, and if she can get some pace help in those longer races, she really could do well. I thought she had showed decent late interest in that Devona Dale, just missing second by a nose. She was just finding her best stride too late there in a 1-turn mile. Get her out to longer distances. I think she's going to have a good year for trainer Chad Brown. Number 23, Muhimma, who is continuing to be my top rank Oaks filly. I'm going to give her one more chance after that Honeybee. I thought that maybe they should have been more aggressive and gone to the lead there, but Florent Giroux didn't send her out, and she was just an even third there in a disappointing effort, but she showed a lot of ability. It is a 2-year-old defeating Ballerina d'Oro by a length in that Demoiselle Stakes. So I liked the effort of both of those horses, and then I expect both of them in their second starts of the year to improve. So Ballerina d'Oro is most likely for sure going to stretch out next time around 2 turns. Muhimma is going to run in the Ashland at Keeneland, and she has a shot there. Hopefully bounce back, get the lead, and run a quality race and prove that her 2-year-old season was for real. And then finally, number 25, Pretty Sassy, another horse that's at the bottom of my list, number 5 on my Oaks list. And she's 40-1 on the Road to the Oaks. Outstanding pedigree, back-to-back wins over a route of ground at Fairgrounds. And I'm hoping that they give her a shot in the Fairgrounds Oaks, but she's going to have to run faster for sure. She did win that 4-horse field last time. And sometimes 4-horse fields can be a little bit strange, and I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think maybe she's a bit better than she showed even that day when she won that one by a head. But Pretty Sassy, with that excellent pedigree, should continue to improve as distances increase. So the 3 horses worth playing in this pool: 3, Ballerina d'Oro, 23, Muhimma, and 25, Pretty Sassy. If you want a free pick each day, go over to therunawayhorse.com and click on the Better Bets blog tab at the top of my homepage. And you will get a free pick each day if you do that. And like, comment, and share these videos if you like them, and subscribe to my channel as well. It's free to subscribe. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.